Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Awesome. Well, welcome y'all to episode 4. I think I've lost count. We're doing it every week. I think this is episode 4, third of 2026. But we've got the crew back together here with Ricky and Dan, and we're gonna keep building on our email inbox that we built, I guess now 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
But I guess to kick it off for those of us who are new and just need a reminder too, always. Ricky, Dan, do you want to introduce yourself? Start with Ricky.
Yeah, sure. In case you guys forgot,
How
my
could
name
you?
is my name is Ricky. I'm a product engineer here at V0. I work across a lot of the different things that we build. So I'm looking forward to building with you guys.
Ricky does it all.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
And I'm Dan Fine. I'm on the product marketing team here at Vercel, so not technically on the V0 team. And I made this sort of caveat last time that I am your more average or I don't know, below average vibe coder or V0 user, coder extraordinaire, whatever, however you want to call
I
it.
don't know, Dan. I think you shipped like 5 agents with V0 like last week alone.
Yeah.
I don't know if that like works anymore.
I think V0 is leveling me up, but I'm not. I don't know. We're not there yet with me being able to call myself a software engineer. But yeah, so I'm not technically on the V0 team, but one of the things we want to do is see how a normal person or a non-engineer might code or build with V0. And so I'm super excited to be back on. So thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It was awesome. And so, I mean, Dan, this is also like a lot of your brainchild of last, I guess, 2 weeks ago now. We made a community call. We're like, what do you want to see us build? And we'll ship it live. And so that's what we did. We had a lot of calls for an email inbox, which might tell you where the world's at. And so we built what we dubbed email inbox 4.0. There you go. And let me know if I'm forgetting anything, but we built, it started to, we had a full integration with the database. It was bringing in real emails, drafted fake data for us to work with. And then at the end, I think in the last like 5 minutes, we were able to ship AI summaries to it. We did categorization. Is there anything else that we did in the box?
We did all.
Oh, yeah.
All, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I think the big thing after that was like, okay, great. I want to start. I built this app in V0. I want to start adding agentic capabilities on it. And so that's when we thought we'd, get back in here and do that. So I think the lineup today is we're going to ship at least a couple agentic features.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah. Awesome. And before we do get started with building, for those of you live with us, please come into the chat, ask questions. I think it was really cool 2 weeks ago. We had a lot of questions of features that people wanted to add. And then to Dan's point of like, we're normal people building with V0, we also ran into some, issues that we troubleshooted live. And so, based on your experience of building, if there's things that you're curious about of integrations, how to get the database set up, like throw it all in there. That's what we're here for. And I think if you're watching with us, Amy might give you a nice little credit code to build along so we can all build some agents together. That is my fault. I said yes once, and now I think we have to do it all the time. And then just last thing, be nice, keep to our community standards. And yeah, I think this will be really fun. So you all ready?
Yeah, actually, speaking of the debugging that we did last week, I had never seen that view before. I did not realize that we could go to the demo database.
Interesting.
So I've been using that this past week when I'm building projects. So you actually taught me something too, Dan. So
Look
shout
at
out to
that.
you.
All right. I guess I had to pay it back somehow. So.
That's awesome. Okay, Dan, yeah, you want to bring up your screen?
Yeah, let's do it. So let's see. I'm going to pull up this screen here. Okay, so this, let me know if you can see it. If not.
Not yet.
There we go. Looks like it's up. Okay, so this is our email inbox or our email inbox 4.0. And so just to reacquaint ourselves, it has some level of quote unquote working functionality. It has, again, the database, which is storing some emails. And we can go ahead and go to that database if we want to take a look. But then it also has just a previewer, some folders. So if an email is sent, received, if it's favorites or spam. And then we did all of it in chat. And so we just did it all in here. And I haven't been in here since the last thing. I wanted it sort of untouched. Last time published January 7th, so a couple weeks ago. And so
keeping us honest.
what I think we want to do is, like you mentioned, add some new capabilities, make it a little bit smarter. I think you mentioned we did a summarization, and that, I believe, is the TLDR and the detailed summarization. So let's see if I press TLDR, if it takes my, so it takes my email, sort of runs it through a model, and will actually generate that too long didn't read summary. And then if I do detailed, so this will give me a more thorough explanation of what's going on here. One of the things that's cool is we really didn't like touch any API keys. We just started coding and saying, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then if you want at any time, you can sort of go and check your code. We could kind of stay out of this, but one of the things that's super cool is just that this is actually just calling AI SDK. I forget where. Could be somewhere, but we can go and check out where that actually was. Oh, generate text. And so what it's doing is we didn't type any of this. We didn't code any of this, but it summarizes this email in one short sentence, or doing it in the sort of longer format. And so the code is there if we want to look at it, but we really don't have to. And so that's one of the things that I like about this, is I could just like keep spamming ideas. And one of the things I love about vibe coding is like I get my next idea as my previous one is like generating, or as soon as I see something on screen, or sometimes I wish I could just like, I don't know, send it my entire brain dump, but then it'd be like, dude, relax. But yeah, so now we have sort of reacquainted ourselves. And we have some functionality, but we need a little bit more. And I think one of the cool things we can do is, we can do a few things. We can have it draft responses. It can do a better job of probably like sorting. So maybe instead of like spam and favorites, we have some, like I know Gmail has like a promotions, a social, all these different tabs. So we could come up with any number of features. Do any come to mind? And while you guys are thinking that, I'm just going to generate some more emails in the background. So I'm just going to, like, since my V0 is connected to Neon, or even if I have to go and copy and paste the SQL query into Neon, not too tricky, but I'm just going to ask it to create way more across tons of different categories, so that whenever we do come up with an idea, we just go and build it.
Awesome.
Do you guys any preference on what we build?
I actually think there's something really cool when we talk about like this age of agents and generative capabilities. Instead of predefining a list of categories, if we want to do the filtering, we can have the agent determine if a new category should be created based off the emails that it's seeing.
Cool. Oh, that's awesome. And then I guess we want some level of management so it doesn't create too many categories. And then every email is its own category. Okay, so that's smarter than, okay. Caroline, any ideas?
I mean, this is a selfish request. I would love for it to be able to read the email and draft a suggestion. I think particularly, like, I get a lot of repetitive emails where it's similar asks. And so my next ask then would be if I can have a command for intent-based replies every time. But at least being able to read it and draft a suggestion, I feel like would be really helpful.
Super cool. Okay, so I guess what we'll definitely want is to make sure that these folders are something that can be controlled by the user, so not like necessarily hard coded, or not the user, but the system. And then also a way to draft emails so that when we see an email, we can quickly create. I don't think we have a reply button. I guess maybe one of these would be a reply button, but we haven't set that up yet. And so what we can do is we can start brainstorming what that looks like as it's going to be sort of seeding some emails. So it's going to look at my Neon database schema and sort of figure out what the format should look like. It's actually trying to add a spam score, which we'll ignore because we're going to want the AI to sort of do it based on what we think is spam. But let's just start drafting. So maybe we want to create a more dynamic folder system. where, let's see, where
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is that we need to sort of like offer to place the emails into some buckets. And so really what we want to do is have the ability to even have folders. So we need folders that can be added and removed, probably stored in the DB. So we want to persist those across sessions. So like we'll want to, I'm just going to get rid of the word probably. We do want it stored in the database. And then what else do we want? We want renaming of those, and then the ability to move any email into a folder, and also have any email exist in multiple folders. So maybe these act like tags. And I'll explain sort of what I'm thinking about there. Okay, so one of the things I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to like think not too far ahead, but like 1 or 2 steps ahead. Mm-hmm. And so what I'm thinking right now is like, say we have something in promotional or whatever the Gmail, maybe it's like sports, and then there's also a weekend folder. It's like something could be in both. And so I'm just thinking through like maybe you don't just want it in a sports folder if like you're going to someone's baseball game this weekend. You want it in both for whatever reason. That's how you manage your inbox. So I'm just trying to think like tag system feels cool because like for any email, you could just be like, hey, this is of these 3 types. And then the AI can go, okay, based on these categories or based on some emails, you might want a new category. It might be a good idea to just sort of like think through a few steps ahead to have that ready.
I thought that was one of the most interesting parts of our conversation 2 weeks ago was like, how much do you share your overall product vision versus go step by step? And Ricky, to your point of you can actually include the agent in a lot of those thinking patterns now. Looking at what Dan has put out here, would you ask V0 what it thinks should be in the inbox, or would you keep going down the line of being really specific of what we want to see?
I think, and I was actually going to suggest this, Dan. You said that you should probably remove probably. I think one of the beautiful things about this tool is that you don't have to be 100% certain with what you want, right? You don't have, like the agent will make the decision for you about what it should do if you are ever unclear. Mm-hmm. And what's also really beautiful about V0 in particular is that because it's, UI driven development where you can see what's being outputted, if you don't like how it looks, it's super easy to just prompt and get a different thing.
And versus like having to go into code, like you see it in functionality. It's a really good point.
So what we don't ever want is like analysis paralysis, right? Like whatever you want, just keep going, and then you can always iterate from there.
Is that, are you suggesting Dan might have analysis paralysis?
Oh, that's funny.
Ricky's like, let's go.
Shit.
Oh, that's funny. And so if I refreshed that sort of, this was done, it created a bunch of emails. While this next one's loading, we can go and run that migration, or we can go and paste those. But let's see what happens when we go in. I think I just need to log back in. Need to remember to not use my real password. Okay, cool. All right, and I'm just gonna. So now it's gonna go and do its thing. Sort of the best part of this is that I don't really need to know what its thing is. It's just gonna go to do the clever stuff. But let's see if it's sort of like understanding. Create a dynamic folder tag system. They can create, rename, and delete. They can exist in multiple folders. Detect trends. Move emails. Pretty good. So it's going to start with the folder and tag system. Okay, so that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good start. So let's go. So this is basically, I asked to run a migration. This is just SQL. It's like database speak for give me stuff I can put in my my database. And so what I want to do now is just go and actually run this. So what we did last time is we actually used the Vercel Marketplace to create our Neon database. And so what I want to do here is I'm just going to actually go and say, for that, I just want to go directly to where that's set up. And then I think, Ricky, this is what you were telling me you sort of didn't know existed, but you can open in Neon and go directly there if you want to see what the system looks like. I could have just probably run this straight from V0, but this is just a sort of quick way of doing it, and also a cool way of just exploring all the different integrations and the access that you have when you sort of set up things through the V0 ecosystem. And so here, this is our database. If I go to the SQL editor, I'm just going to paste, and then hopefully, wow, that's quite a lot.
Well, I think, Dan, that's the cool part, is that it's kind of choose your own adventure based on like the level of detail you want. Like for me, I always just use Supabase. I never leave the V0 chat. I manage an admin dashboard, everything from the chat. But if you want to be more in the specifics, you can do this.
Totally. Yeah, so I just ran those, and hopefully if I refresh, our system should identify. Oh, and maybe I didn't actually assign them to me as a user, sender, or recipient. But I can go ahead and make sure we do that. I could also make sure, since we're just testing, I could just say any email at all that's in the database, just show me it in the interface, just remove one step, and later on can very easily get it back. And so let's just see where our chat's at. So it's updating email types, email actions. So our email actions now, we want to eventually include reply, but our email actions are like moved to folder.
Yeah.
And so it's going to create.
And that would be helpful, right, for me.
Sorry?
Even that would be helpful for me. Which is a good time to plug V0 IRLs, which I get a lot of emails about. If anyone wants to host an IRL with V0, just email caroline.shimataro. And now it will be self-organized.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's see. All right, so updating email inbox. Now it's going to, let's see, I don't know what it's doing specifically, but it's just doing its thing. It's going to think a little bit. I just want to figure out where our emails are. Let me just refresh one more time to see if, I'm just going to do a full page refresh. It's possibly cached somewhere. Okay, so now we just need to do small. It's always nice when it's a real. So let's see, dan.find@vercel.com. So the sender email is definitely there. So they should be in my sent email. Okay, so for some reason, we're not seeing those anymore. Let's see. I don't need to save that. All right, I'm not exactly sure. So running SQL migration to create folders. Okay, so this is what we were talking about before with, like, I went and I did like the sort of manual version of that, was adding and seeding emails into our database. This is sort of like the easier route, which maybe I should have taken the first time, which is this time it offered me, well, it said, okay, maybe you want to make a few seed or initial folders to kick us off, or some tags. And so it's actually just going to offer to run the migration for me. So that's pretty nice. I'm just going to say accept for this one so that we can see every time we need to do it. So I'm just going to do accept. It'll do this new migration of 5. So I guess the other one was 4 that we ran before. And there are some emails that are in the database. Sent. Okay, and then this is, let's just do it one time. Sent from dan.find@vercel.com that aren't showing up in the dashboard. I'm just going to ask a question. Oh, how many times I'm going to log in today? Luckily, my password is super easy and guessable. Okay, so I have a 5 in here. I think it did a little bit of rearranging. We also now have our folders. Let's create one. Before I chose the idea of sports, let's see. Okay, so cool. So now we have a sports folder. So let's go to any email. Let's see how So it's supposed to do that. Looks pretty good. It's showing me my different folders. I can click sports. And then now it's showing me a little one right here, which is nice. And that's a little indicator that that was added. Cool. That is cool. I'm going to let V0 actually go and query Neon to see where those emails are. Maybe somewhere in there, you know, I typoed something, maybe somewhere things just got misaligned. But yeah, so now we have, oh yeah, so it only found 3 emails from Dan.Find. So somewhere there was missing the address. And so let's see. So now I have one folder. I'm just going to go and create another one. Ooh, it's just a sec. And then I'm going to create another one, give it a cool color. And one of the things I wanted to do before is prove that, or not prove, but make it so that this can be in any of multiple folders. So Sarah Chen email, both of these. Let's see. I may let it go and do its thing. So I might just go and accept all of them after this one. Because it's just checking the user count, counting emails, counting the number of user emails. So what it's doing for me is I'm not writing any SQL because like I would just get it wrong. It's just going to query it for me and try to like debug on its own, which is actually super cool. I didn't actually know that V0 would do multiple checks like a sort of sequential, or like, not that it's like predetermined, but like a sequential list of rules that you do. I'm just going to do accept all Neon. And so maybe if it wants to do a little bit more, I'm just going to let it Visa. I trust it.
Let V0 cook that.
Yeah, no, I need to be more trusting of the computers. That's pretty cool. The user has 11 emails. Let me check. Okay, that's pretty cool. So again, it's doing its own thing. And this is sort of like where we are, like, it's just like, tell it where you're at, tell it what you think is sort of not exactly right, and then see if it can help. So, but they're not linked to the user and user emails. These are emails Dan sent. Should we found the issue? Oh, so it's going to actually create a migration. Basically, it's going to update the database, or give me the ability to update it so that it makes the connection between an email that exists and an email that is actually in my inbox, which is super cool. I think last week what happened was, I think what we did was we said an email can be like an entity, and then there could be many different people who have received that email. And so instead of there just being one email, it's actually like a mapping of this email belongs to these 3 people, which I think is a future-proof way of making sure that each user can mark as spam, move to folders, stuff like that. So I didn't remember that last time, but we sort of went and ran that. Did I run that just now? I don't remember. But let's see. Okay, we're so back.
More.
Okay. It was actually pretty sweet, right?
The issue was that it had generated a lot of emails in the database, but they weren't hooked up to actually our visual dashboard here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So basically, the email existed, but it wasn't assigned to like my account. And so it was like, okay, show me all emails in Dan's account, and there were none showing. And so all the system needed to do is go and link them. That makes sense, because what I did is I asked it to create emails. I didn't ask it to put them in my inbox, which may be a nuance, but at the same time, you could sort of understand. At least I'm tracking sort of how that happened, how we got here. But also kind of cool debugging, right? Just like troubleshooting a database issue and having the system just go and do its thing was pretty awesome.
Well, the reason why I ask is because I used to run into this issue a lot with like form management, where the response population would not be the same as what was in the database. And I've started, just anytime I populate an internal admin dashboard, to just go ahead and be like, oh, make sure that like it matches up on all components. Do you have any other like short tips that you do? Like I just ask it immediately now and it fixes it, like debugs it instantly.
So I think this has a lot to do with how we think about prompting, right? If we're just shooting out as we go, then you can just clarify like, hey, like we need this to be attached to this. Versus if we start at the beginning and we write a whole composite plan about what it should look like, it will be smart enough to know that it automatically needs to link. So it's really a difference in building style than agent capability.
That's
if
cool.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Where you
I
go?
guess you shouldn't really ask me for the advice on that one because I clearly just got it wrong. So I'm glad you asked, Ricky, on what to do to avoid those situations. So that's great. But just to build on our little email inbox 4.0, I think the next step is to give like a little email text sender. So like I'm just thinking like a fairly simple one that can send and receive emails, but of course we want to make sure that they're like in inboxes. And then what we'll do right after that is see if any emails that are in inboxes can be automatically sorted into folders, which could be pretty cool. So should just be. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more of what I want. I'm literally just going to type like I'm picturing Gmail in my mind right now. The sender should be whoever is signed in. Recipients could be a list of users. Use autocomplete based on, let's see, use autocomplete based on users we know are in the data. So that's kind of a complicated one. So use autocomplete based on users we know that sender has emailed before. So this would basically say, based on what you're typing, has this person emailed someone who like has that sort of like a match for that email address? We could choose to not do that right now just to reduce complexity. But why not? Just for let's actually get rid of that and say let the recipient emails be anything as long as they are valid emails. Okay, and then we just need a send button and ensure, and I'm going to actually take your trick, Caroline, and I'm going to say ensure everything is aligned in the database. So not only is the email created, but it's, whoops, placed.
I'll change your life, Dan.
Place in the correct folders, sender, recipients, etc. All right, I think I'm going to start with that.
Cool.
I'm just going to add that you can open with a compose button. Cool. All right, so not really telling it how to build it at all. I'm just sort of telling it what I want. Like I just want you to be able to open some sort of dialog that says, okay, here's your sender, which is just you. You shouldn't have to touch that unless later on we add multiple sender accounts. Now we're getting to 5.0. And then I wanted to have the recipients, which is going to be a list of emails. Really, I just care if it's like a bit of text at bit of text dot something, like a actual email address format. And then you could have multiple of those, and then some sort of body, and then a send. I don't actually think I told the. Oh yeah, I did say we need a send button, and then ensure that it's all going to actually sort of work. And on the back end, a sent email goes in my sent folder. If I'm a recipient, it goes in my inbox. And so one way to test this once it's done would be to send myself an email. So it should go in both my sent and my inbox. And then the thing we should do after that is maybe we'll have like a magic button that goes through inbox. Maybe it's like right here or similar. And it just recommends folders and possibly new folders or existing ones. So I think let's take a look at where we're at. Create a send email server action that creates the email and links it to the sender. This is the dialog I was mentioning. So the create email. Wire it all together in the inbox. Cool. Then it's going to add that little compose button to the sidebar. Let's see, just so later we can get an idea of what kind of categorization we think it might do. So this one's like sort of design. This one's dev, more dev related.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we might not be having many go to the sports category.
Yeah, I might have to send myself some fake emails about I don't know, something about the Yankees or whatnot, and we'll see if those get caught. Okay, so let's see. So compose button, added a prominent compose button at the top of the sidebar. So we'll look for that. Clean modal with fields for 2 CC. Ooh, nice. I didn't even tell it CC. It just, of course. All of that. Okay, compose. We got a little compose button. We have our email. Let's just do hello@apple.com.
Cool.
Hello there. Oh, that was cool. It actually, as soon as I press tab, hello there. As soon as I press tab to go to the subject, it actually just added it up here, which was nice. So it actually made it pretty easy for me to just go in. So that was cool.
Honestly, better than the Gmail functionality. Somehow adding a lot of emails is still hard in 2025 or 6.
So this is my first email. And so, it also created, so in addition to the recipient, it also gave me the CC, which is great. Pretty cool. I don't know if we're capable of handling CC yet, so let's just stay without it, but that's pretty awesome. But this is my first email. Let's press send. Let's see what happens. Let's see if the email makes its way. I also want add a refresh button that doesn't trigger a full page reload. So what I want to do is I don't want to have to like refresh the window every time, but I want to be able to just like update my inbox, or eventually it'd be able to automatically update. But let's see if I do a full refresh for now. So my sent went from 6 to 7. My email is there. This is my first email. We are in business.
This is a milestone for Power Hour.
Yeah.
Email.
We've recreated email. I can't remember who you guys were with when at this moment. So let's see the TLDR. Dan sent his first email with a simple greeting. Pretty accurate. Let's see what a detailed summary looks like. This is just wasting tokens, I guess. So this one was done. Added a refresh button to the email list header. Cool. Okay.
I think then at this point we're ready to
add a little bit of intelligence.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was about to set us up there for. Are we doing analysis paralysis, Dan?
Let's do it. Great. So now we want to take our inbox and select just magic and have it automatically sort all of the emails into folders. So should it suggest, or should it automatically do it? I guess it'd be cool for it to suggest, and then I can approve. Hey, that makes sense. But really, email is better if it's just sort of fully automated, I feel like. So
Yeah.
I think we're at that point. Maybe that was like a 3.0 thing, but this is 4.0.
That was 2025.
So automatically sorting. This should use AI SDK to determine the categories.
Do you, Dan? I think it's great to say that, but do you even have to say that? Like,
I'll get rid of SDK.
It will use AI SDK. Yeah, it's the best open source way to build agents and integrate AI into your systems. So.
Intelligence to determine the categories that best match it. Also, if multiple emails look like they may be similar in some way.
And then I guess while Dan's starting to ship that, Ricky, I am curious because like my brain just starts to fire off all of the actions I wanted to take, right? Where I'm like, oh, it's not enough just to sort it. Like, go ahead and start drafting based on the sort, like based on this intent of emails. Like, I just respond to all that. Like, I would be inclined to just give V0 all of that right now.
Yeah.
Do you like suggest that that's okay, or how do you think about it when you're building? Yeah.
It really is just like it's a personal preference.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to. It's how you like to build. The more context you give it, the better it will do at what it is you're requesting. So.
Yeah.
So I did a little bit of, these are kind of repeats, but I just rewrote it in a sort of I just rewrote it. This should use intelligence to. So I went from AI SDK to AI to intelligence. Hopefully, I didn't go too far. It's like, okay, what do you mean, Dan? Also, so find the best categories if multiple emails look like they may be similar in some way. Ricky, this is your feature request. We should suggest new folders, categories. So user prompts to categorize. The system does the mail sorting into folders, which again could be one or more because we set that up to basically support that. And so create an API endpoint that uses AI, sweet, to analyze emails, create a dialog component to show suggestions, and then add a magic button. Sort of love the idea of calling it the little magic button. This was our refresh from before. So what I wanted to do right now is actually, before I mentioned saying, hi, Dan. I am you or me. Let's see. Ooh, failed to send email. Maybe it didn't like, maybe it's not liking that I sent it to myself. Maybe, okay. We could also go and sort of debug that if we need to. I am you or me. So it did send it before, but it didn't, something about it didn't like. But, okay, so we have this in our sent. We just need to figure out at some point how to make sure we get more emails in our inbox so we can categorize, because we want to basically have more for it to do. Plus, we want to make some of those sports emails that we're going to seed the database with.
That's P0.
Yes, that is totally, yeah, this is, we want to create emails for a category just so that the AI can categorize it for us. Kind of cool. This is how you test things. So adding magic button to UI. So I'm going to assume it's going to put it somewhere over here. I could have told it like, hey, put it next to the refresh button. I actually didn't tell it where to put the refresh button. It picked a pretty good spot. And that's actually where I thought the magic one should be. So let's see. Added the magic sort feature to automatically categorize emails using AI. Sparkles icon. When you click analyze emails, it sends your emails to Claude. And okay, now we have our little magic button. So let's see what happens. Again, we didn't add any new emails to our inbox, but let's see what happens. 17 of your emails. I'm assuming that's actually more, favorites, inbox, and sent. I don't think they can belong in more than those, so that makes sense. That's our 17. So analyzing your emails. So what we could do is we could add like streaming back to this and be like, hey, as it's actually analyzing the emails and as it's thinking, I want the system to know. Okay, so far we got 6 categories.
Cool.
5 new folders will be created at an existing folder. So let's see. I'm going to apply that sorting. And, what it didn't do is it didn't actually, so it added the folders, but what it didn't do is it didn't actually assign the emails to them. And so like if you go here, none of these were actually selected automatically. So that could have just been, okay, let's look at what's going on here. It's not liking something. So basically, all I did is I sort of ran into a small little error, but I noticed there was like a little red dot on this little console thing. All I'm doing is going to the corresponding like error log and just going to ask v0 what it is. And then also when I clicked to, I forgot what the button was called, to actually sort the emails after we analyzed them, they didn't actually get tagged into folders. So I'm going to see if I could do 2 in 1. So figure out whatever this one is, right? We didn't see the first time, but we saw it this time. Again, I just saw a little like red error. Sometimes, of course, you'll come up with those. It's just good to know how to get out of them, which is just sometimes ask v0. And then I added a second little prompt for that other thing, which was, well, when it analyzed, it gave us the folders. It definitely created those, but it didn't sort them into them. So let's see if we can figure that one out.
And when you asked v0, did you open that to click the button to open a chat and then ask a specific question, or did it prompt you with just directly asking about the error?
So I just saw this little ask v0 button down here, and so that's all I clicked.
Yeah.
And so let's see. The code has the following error. Revise the code to address the issue. So I saw there was a little red icon over here, and then I just clicked the ask v0. So I didn't actually do much
Do anything yet.
about it. Also, we should probably ask v0 to just bypass this screen and automatically log in as Dan.find from now on. So let's see. API error, added defensive checks, and then email tagging now tries to find emails, and then, since the AI might return, okay, actually, it looks like it may have tagged them. I just didn't refresh before.
Oh, interesting.
Pretty cool. Oh, okay, so it had it right. It just didn't refresh the page, which is super cool. All right, so here's what we should try now is try to do it again. But this time, it won't have any context probably of which folders they're in. Actually, let's just start to take a look. Those are pretty good. Spam and scams, personal.
Yeah.
I think these are pretty personal. Sports, I don't know. Oh, this is the one we manually did. I don't know how it got sports from that. Okay, so I'm pretty pumped up.
So it worked. It's cool.
That is pretty awesome. That's it.
I think we compose emails now.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we might need to fix that bug that we had. So let me just try. You going to John? I don't know who Johnny is. Are you? I'm gonna see if like game is something that it'll find. Maybe weekend it'll find. So like those could be sort of more exact matches. I wonder what this is actually. Something. Oh, it doesn't like. So I'm just gonna ask it again. When I go to send an email to myself, I get this error.
I bet it had to do with the categorization of the sender earlier on.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I have no clue, to be honest. So that could totally be it. Let's see what v0 thinks. But again, I just did the same thing. Again, I noticed there was a little red dot. Clicked it, did ask v0. Let's see. The email is happening when sending an email to yourself. Oh, it's trying to create an email for the sender and an email for the recipient, and it's not liking that. Oh, interesting. Fixed self-send email. Simply adds the inbox folder to the existing year. So basically, let's see what. I'm just going to tell it for a second to bypass me going and entering my fake little password. Okay, so let's see if when we go now, if it corrected that. Hello there. Oh no, we were going to do, are you going to Bobby's game this weekend? No, really, are you? Okay.
A window how Dan communicates in his personal life.
Yeah, no, this is how okay, so it hasn't actually completed this one yet. Well, now it has. Let's see if I refresh and just go to didn't get me through, but that's okay. Just sign in, go to compose. Well, actually, let's see. Sent emails. Are you going to Johnny's game? So it has the Johnny one. Let me see the inbox. So I don't think that one sent. I think the v0 generation finished just at the same time. And so I think it refreshed for me. Hello. Okay. Bobby's game. Bobby's game.
There we go.
Nice.
We are in business. Email inbox 4.0 is here. Okay, let's give it a shot. Ready to analyze emails. We can do all 19. That's cool. Really, I care about Is it going to know sports and is it going to go no weekend? The game feels like a giveaway and the word weekend feels like a giveaway. But who knows? We shall see. Weekend. Are you going to Bobby and Johnny's game for that one? Oh,
Nice.
they're both great.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
And so I'm going to uncheck all of these other ones since we already tagged them. And I'm just going to apply sorting. Let's see. Sports. We have an agentic inbox. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of awesome.
Wait, so cool. Okay, do you think we can add drafting?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what are you envisioning? Give me your perfect scenario of you going into your inbox.
Let's draft a reply.
Just like basically read the email.
I go into my email, I see it, and I see like the summary, and then I also see a draft email already with a response.
And then I just want to be able to click like yes, like send or revise, and then it would like let me revise it.
Okay, cool. So should we press a button and then it generates the response, and then
automatically?
It's automatic.
Oh, sorry. You want it automatically already there for us?
Automation, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to be out of my office.
I don't want to do anything myself.
I want my agent to do it all. Also, I love this because we have 13 minutes left in the power hour, and it's been my dream to have a shot clock. So we're gonna see if we can add drafting in the shot clock time.
Okay, cool. That sounds perfect to me. So now what we want to do for every email in the inbox, create a draft AI email. So we need a draft folder and a way to populate those. Okay, so one of the things that we want to do is make sure that we map to like all of those fields we created. So essentially, we need a to, which should just be the recipient. We need a subject, which is probably just going to be the same subject, but with, I don't know, sometimes there's that RE added to it. We might not need that. And then this body. So let's see. We need to make sure I was the recipient, now the sender. There's probably too much info. It probably knows that. It's like, dude, I'm smarter than that. The subject should be the same. And then we fill out a dynamic message / body. Thoughts. I don't know. And so basically, we just need to be able to see that. Okay, then when you click on any email in the inbox, probably with some magic pizzazz. So I wanted to sort of, maybe it'll do that sparkle again, but be like, hey, this is the automatically generated one, which you can click to compose / edit / revise in the new message dialog. Okay, so I kind of spelled out what I wanted to do. We can still stop it if Ricky or Caroline, you tell me that what I wrote was sort of bad, but hopefully you're following along. What I want, we want to, for every email, draft an AI email. So we need a draft folder, which is something new we don't have. And then we want to populate that with one for every email in our inbox. So we need to make sure that the draft has matching sender. So like all of like the maintenance of email. If this were like a more, I mean, not that email isn't, but if this were, slightly more, it's just the administrational side of email is sender, recipients, and all of that. Let's see, drafts table. So I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead and do that. Running drafts migration. So now, let's see what that actually was. So 008, if I'm ever curious, right? It's just creating my drafts folder. So it didn't actually create any draft entries. It just created the actual folder itself, which is pretty cool. So now if I go back, I need to figure out what happened to why it didn't bypass my login. Drafts. Okay, cool. So it's an empty folder. I don't think this would do anything. That's actually just our sort, which should just bring up this analyze, right? Let's see. So now it's adding types, reading emails. Okay, cool. So it's just doing a bit of its thinking.
Yeah, you can see it said created AI drafts API. So.
Oh, cool. So it's going to generate the draft. That's awesome. And we just need to make sure we're able to activate that or like trigger that at the right time. Which I'm trying to think, like, when is the right time to generate it? Like when the email is first received, I would imagine.
I think so. So, I mean, you filter you could put on as like spam. I don't really care about responding to those, but like I think if we think about agents as doing work for us, then like every email that comes into my inbox is work that I have to do, and so I would just like it to automatically do that for me. So every time I receive it, it already has a draft.
Yeah, that makes
Sorry,
sense.
I'm getting passionate. For some reason, I'm out on email.
You really need email. You know, like a makeover of your inbox. It sounds like you're like inundated with emails. I think you're going to be user number one.
I'm being dramatic, but I really do think that it would be helpful.
Oh, that's funny. To add AI draft generation, it may actually do it on demand. Like if I go into an email, it might just create a system that just lets me prompt it, because otherwise I'm not sure when it would actually go and run that AI. Later on, you could add things like, hey, if you receive an email, automatically run this. This might just be an easier way for now, while we have a fake inbox. Adding the wand icon. That is the pizzazz that we were talking about. That is the magic pizzazz we all come to Power Hour for, is the wand icon import. Pretty cool. So we've done quite a bit so far, which is actually, I'm just like sort of reviewing. I was just like going and playing around it. We've done a lot of cool things. Like we had last time this favorites marked as red or unread. Maybe what we do at some point is like for any of the unread ones, that's what we generated for. So we have like a button that's like more intelligent. It's like, hey, if I already read it, I probably don't need to email, or like I probably don't intend to respond again. So then you can like limit the amount that it's actually generating.
Yeah.
So let's see what it's thinking. Any new ideas come to mind? Again, I was saying, like, as I'm coding and creating things, like my next idea comes to me.
Yeah. Well, we got some ideas from the chat. Some adding notifications of like your email has been opened when you've sent it, read or not. And then also, I think this one's really interesting as we started about like, if my agent's doing all my work for me, which is my inbox, how can it, I do other work too. How can it also then start not just do it, but help me be better at my job to do it? And a suggestion that we had was writing subject lines that are more likely to get opened and read. And so if based on all the emails I send, which ones get opened, could it also then add like a suggested draft of a subject line based on those results?
I love that question. One of the things I work on a lot in my real job when I'm not creating email inbox 4.0 is sort of like the wording of, and like the how you're actually saying things, like the narrative and the message and the tone, and how you want, are you going to Bobby's game this weekend? Probably sent to a friend. Q4 design review, probably sent at work. Like you can kind of pick up on the tone. So yeah, coming up with like the best way to draft them isn't just saying AI should go and like have at it. You might want to give it some like parameters. You might want to give it some guidance, like, hey, I'm generally a friendly or a non-friendly person, or I'm more direct.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned, if there's some way of collecting analytics, like how many people actually read this? What do they? And like it was like it was very positive. It was opened by a lot of people, or maybe it was sent to spam by a lot of people. Be like, hey, take that data and actually start looking for patterns. And so write more emails in the way of the ones that were positive and people read and didn't send to spam and responded to, and write fewer emails that look like the ones that were marked as spam or weren't even opened. So I love that idea of like figuring out, based on the available data that you have, how can we actually make our AI smarter, right? How can we give it more context, or like how can we inform it, hey, this is what our end goal is, leverage all this data you have at your disposal to write better emails. So I really love that one. That's super cool.
And then something I'm working on personally too is like, again, taking this idea of like, here's all the work, how do I build it into the system, the other systems that I work in? And so of hooking up Notion to my inbox to be able to take actions, because all these, you know, again, all these emails, but they all relate to, you know, other initiatives that we're running, and all those are stored in Notion. And then how can I build out agents in Notion to take action on that? And so it's cool.
Yeah, it is super cool when you start to connect all of your different apps together. Yeah. It's the best. So it's doing some thinking. It's doing a little bit of the final wiring up, which is like, hey, this compose window didn't need to take in data before, but now it's setting it up to take in that pre-filled content. So when we press that button, it can populate the form. And so it's kind of connecting a lot of the dots right now. Our inbox, our new message, our AI, and now it looks like it's summarizing.
Okay, I just thought of a really cool idea.
Go for it.
So one of the things that we are really excited for V0 about is building agents that can do like real work. And as part of that, right, imagine you have an email with a customer support email, getting things, it's filtering. And then because we can build with a linear integration on V0, we can automatically create tickets based off of the customer emails, support emails.
That's awesome.
Love it.
That's fine.
I love it.
Okay.
I mean, you could even like, this might be too crazy, but based on the ticket that you get, like obviously if it's like an issue that I guess maybe this is more feedback, you could even start to take feedback from a customer and generate like what a new product or page could look like in V0 in real time to start to propose to your team.
Oh, I may have. So I'm just feeding it a small little error that it saw. Again, it was doing quite a few things, and so it's okay if one or two get trip it up. What we could do is we could try to draft another one. But what was cool is I was sort of wondering how we would determine when to draft the reply. I think it was better that it actually didn't draft the reply until I clicked into the email. Because to your point, if there's an email that's going to sit in my spam folder, I don't actually need it to go and run up the cost of my sort of intelligence and use my tokens to draft a reply for an email I'm never going to send. So let's see if this works. I should have just saved my login. Okay, so I still didn't do it. So let's see if AI draft reply generating your reply. Let's see if this works. If we get another error, it's okay. We go for it. Whoa, we really gave Sarah a response.
Wait, okay. Dan, this is right on the shot clock too. This is like perfect.
It's suspenseful. Okay, edit. Can we send it back to Sarah? Can we send it? Okay.
Sick.
All right, we did it. It didn't preserve our formatting, but that's okay.
we can tell it to be more concise too.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually ask it for a summary of the email that I sent.
It's like me sending emails. I need a summary of what I've written.
So if you're wondering how to make your life better at work, it's to automatically respond to Sarah's email and then get a summary of what you responded. We nailed it.
Awesome. Sick. Okay. So I mean we did a lot in this power hour. I think we effectively shipped two agents in our inbox.
That was awesome.
So fun.
Sarah, a very long
She probably sent us something long too. That's awesome. Well, thank you all for everyone who joined us. I know we are going back and forth with some questions in the chat, and I think Amy's going to answer them as well. But Ricky, Dan, this was really fun. I think we got to add the shot clock more because it's fun to do it right there. But I think, as we do more of these, I think this is exactly what we want to be doing, of taking real workflows that people like ourselves are using every day, and giving you all the step-by-step of like, how can you not just build something in V0, but how can you really ship real work, real apps, real agents with it? And with that, I will have to give a teaser that next week we're going to have Ari on for Power Hour, and we're going to celebrate the launch of some big, exciting updates to V0, and we're going to be building them live with you. So Dan, Ricky, maybe y'all can also come maybe and hang out too. But it's going to be really fun. Awesome. Anything else?
Having me.
Words?
No, this was super fun. Thanks for having me. And I'd love to be back.
Cool. Dan,
my parting words, just ship it.
There you go. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Ricky. See y'all.
See you.